Railways Explained is back with a long-awaited update on one of Europe's most ambitious infrastructure projects, the Fehmarnbelt Fixed Link, that have a price tag of 7.4 billion euros. 3 years ago, we released a comprehensive video covering the early vision of this project, including its initial proposals, scope, financing, and expected impacts. Also, you can find a dedicated chapter on this mega project in our ebook that is available for purchase through the link in the description. Now, as the works progress, it's time to revisit and see how far things have come. The Fehmarnbelt Link is being constructed as an immersed tunnel, and once completed, it will become the longest immersed tunnel in the world, with a total length of around 18 kilometers. To put this in context, it will surpass Turkey's famous Marmaray Tunnel under the Bosphorus, which is about 13.5 kilometers long. The tunnel will connect the German island of Fehmarn with the Danish island of Lolland, running in a gentle curve beneath the Baltic Sea. The route begins east of Puttgarden in Germany, crosses the Fehmarn Belt, and reaches Lolland near Rødbyhavn in Denmark. The ferry crossing between Fehmarn and Lolland took about 45 minutes. Once the tunnel is operational, train passengers will be able to make the journey in just 7 minutes, while car drivers will need only 10 minutes. Furthermore, the total travel time between Hamburg and Copenhagen is expected to be reduced to approximately 2.5 hours, down from today's 4.5 hours, assuming that all related infrastructure upgrades are completed by the time the tunnel opens. These include the replacement of the narrow Fehmarn Sound Bridge with the new Fehmarn Sound Tunnel, which will carry a 4-lane motorway and a double-track railway, improving connectivity to the German mainland. Experience from previous fixed link openings such as the Great Belt in 1998 and the Øresund Bridge in 2000 shows that traffic volumes increase significantly when ferry services are replaced by fixed connections. In fact, traffic across Øresund rose by more than 60% in the years following the bridge's opening, while the Great Belt Link saw a 127% traffic increase. It's also worth noting that rail ferries across the Øresund were discontinued immediately after the bridge was opened. Projections for the Fehmarnbelt Tunnel indicate that approximately 25% of existing traffic will be diverted from the Great Belt Bridge, alongside a significant portion of demand currently served by ferry routes. In essence, this represents a major modal shift from sea to both rail and road across the 18-kilometer link. Even more importantly, the tunnel is expected to unlock broader opportunities for shifting freight from road to rail, especially considering that it will eliminate the need for a 160-kilometer detour through Denmark for freight trains. This will lead to more efficient logistics between Scandinavia and continental Europe. Regarding construction method being an immersed tunnel, it involves the creation of a trench on the seabed that is up to 60 meters wide and 16 meters deep, stretching the entire 18 kilometers. Into this trench, large prefabricated tunnel elements will be lowered and connected piece by piece like assembling giant underwater Lego bricks. The Fehmarnbelt Tunnel will consist of 79 standard elements and 10 special elements. All standard elements share the same geometry, each measuring approximately 217 meters in length, 42 meters in width, and 9 meters in height. Each element weighs around 73,000 tons. The 10 special elements will be immersed approximately every 2 kilometers. Each special element is unique and cannot be interchanged with other elements. To facilitate production and streamline logistics, a massive casting factory was specially built in Rødbyhavn. The factory comprises 3 production halls, A, B, and a smaller hall C, housing a total of 5 production lines dedicated to standard elements. These elements are made up of 9 concrete segments produced in a continuous assembly line process. After each segment is cast, it is moved forward for curing while the molds are reset for the next segment. Meanwhile, a 6th line is dedicated to producing the 10 special elements, which are slightly smaller and feature a basement level to house the tunnel's electrical and technical systems. However, before any element can be floated out to sea and installed, it must meet extremely stringent quality standards. These standards are crucial to ensure the tunnel achieves its designed 120-year lifespan. Since concrete is a living material that naturally develops minor cracks during the curing process, especially on such a massive scale, construction takes place in climate-controlled holes to minimize thermal stress. Each element is then thoroughly inspected and any cracks are carefully assessed and repaired in agreement with the contractor. After the structural quality is confirmed, the tunnel element is fitted with large ballast tanks in the railway tubes. This is necessary because the road section of the tunnel is inherently heavier than the rail section. The ballast ensures that the element remains stable and level during immersion, allowing for placement with precision down to a few millimeters. Additional preparatory work is also done at this stage to ensure the element is fully ready for submersion. The final step before immersion involves transporting the element to the work harbor, where further ballast concrete is added. At this point, the tunnel segment is no longer buoyant on its own, it must be supported by specially designed immersion pontoons. These pontoons will guide and lower the element into the prepared seabed trench, where it will be joined with previously placed segments to form the continuous tunnel. A major milestone was reached on October 21, 2024, when the first of 10 special tunnel elements emerged from the casting area in Lübeck. Weighing 21,000 tons and standing roughly 13 meters tall, the height of a 4-story building, and as we mentioned, these elements differ from the standard ones in several ways. Each contains 2 levels, a lower basement housing the tunnel's extensive electrical installations, and an upper level split into rail and road tubes. One particularly smart feature is the inclusion of a lay-by in the motorway tube, allowing technical teams to park safely and access the basement for maintenance without disrupting traffic. With this innovation, engineers made the Fehmarnbelt Tunnel cheaper and easier to maintain. Namely, according to Fehmarn AS, the project management authority, the decision to concentrate technical systems in just 10 special elements, placed roughly every 2 kilometers, reduces the need for extensive concrete work and seabed excavation. It also simplifies maintenance and improves tunnel operations. The first special element took over a year to cast, using a staged construction method. Basement first, followed by walls, and then the roof. Meanwhile, progress continues on the standard elements. 5 of them have been completed, and more are under production on 5 casting lines in the factory. These 217-meter-long giants are being produced in a continuous cycle to meet the tight construction schedule. The first immersion of a special element is scheduled for 2025 off the Danish coast, considering that a massive dredging operation for the tunnel trench was completed in 2024, removing nearly 15 million cubic meters of soil, stone and sand from the seabed. Remarkably, these excavated materials are not being wasted, they are being repurposed to create around 300 hectares of new nature and recreational areas around Rødbyhavn, adding long-term environmental and community value to the project. To handle such a colossal marine excavation, several customized dredging machines were deployed. Among them were the hopper dredger Vox Amalia, the wire grab dredger Manta, and the Magner, the world's largest backhoe dredger, showcasing the scale and technical sophistication of the operation. The phase related to the immersion of tunnel elements will include a fleet of purpose-built vessels, is currently being tested and prepared to precisely position the tunnel segments on the seabed. These include the multi-purpose pontoon Maya, which lays a perfectly even gravel bed as the foundation for the tunnel elements. The immersion pontoons IV1 and IV2 are specially engineered to transport and submerge the tunnel elements from the harbor to their final positions on the sea floor. Once an element is placed, the spreader pontoon MP460 secures it by distributing gravel and stones along its sides. Finally, the protection layer pontoon Wismar lays a top layer of stone to shield the element and ensure long-term structural integrity. Another crucial part of the Fehmarnbelt Fixed Link is the construction of the tunnel portals on both the Danish and German sides. These portals serve as vital transition points connecting the immersed tunnel to the existing railway and motorway infrastructure on land. On both sides, the first segments of the land tunnels have already been completed, with their seaward ends submerged and awaiting connection with the immersed tunnel elements. Notably, on the Danish side, the light attenuation zone in the portal ceiling is complete. This innovative feature uses a light grid to provide a smoother visual transition from daylight into the artificial tunnel lighting, improving safety and driver comfort. On the German side, although the construction site is smaller than its Danish counterpart, its role remains crucial. Work here is strategically synchronized with the progress in Denmark to maintain the overall project timeline. The German portal consists of two distinct sections, a 450-meter-long cut-and-cover tunnel and a 150-meter-long light transition zone, which ensures a smooth visual and structural connection between the tunnel and land for both rail and road users. As you can see, construction activities are progressing in line with the planned schedule, aiming for completion by 2029. However, it's worth noting that only Germany has the potential to jeopardize this timeline. Based on experience, it is evident that Germany has struggled with the timely delivery of mega projects, with delays of several years becoming almost standard. To fully realize the potential of the Fehmarnbelt Tunnel, several supporting infrastructure projects on land must also be completed. One such project is the construction of the Fehmarn Sound Tunnel, a new immersed tunnel that will connect the German mainland with the island of Fehmarn. Originally, the 2008 treaty between Germany and Denmark stipulated that the hinterland connection on the German side would be upgraded, while the existing Fehmarn Sound Bridge, a two-lane road and single-track railway, would remain in use under the assumption that it could accommodate increased traffic volumes. However, subsequent studies revealed that the existing bridge would not be able to handle the projected increase in traffic, particularly rail traffic. As a result, in March 2020, the German Federal Ministry for Transport and Digital Infrastructure, together with Deutsche Bahn, announced that an immersed tunnel would be constructed for both road and rail traffic, at an estimated cost of 714 million euros. The original bridge will be preserved for local use. Despite these plans, by 2025 the Fehmarn Sound Tunnel had still not received final approval from authorities, and it was confirmed that it would not be completed by 2029 as initially planned. Instead, its opening has been postponed until 2032, delaying the launch of full rail operations on the new corridor. In addition, Germany must also complete the modernization of the Lübeck-Puttgarden line, which is currently a single-track, non-electrified railway. The project involves upgrading this corridor into a double-track, electrified line capable of handling speeds of up to 200 km per hour. Specifically, it will require the construction of approximately 55 km of new track and the upgrading of about 33 km of existing line. The scope of modernization includes 92 bridges, 6 new stations, full electrification, and the implementation of the ETCS Level 2 train protection system, which eliminates the need for traditional line-side signals. To facilitate this work, the section north of Neustadt was closed in August 2022, and rail traffic between Neustadt and Puttgarden has been suspended until at least 2028. In the meantime, buses are being used as a replacement service. The rationale for this full closure is to reduce the construction cost and duration by eliminating the need to maintain live traffic during upgrades. The German Federal Transport Infrastructure Plan 2030 has allocated $1.5 billion for the electrification and modernization of the Lübeck-Puttgarden railway. Upon completion, the travel time between Lübeck and Berg is expected to drop to just 49 minutes, around 40 minutes faster than before. Now we can only hope that the Germans will finish the work on this line by 2028, but probably in 2 years we will make a video again where the new deadline for the completion of the tunnel and the works on land will be delayed to 2032. But well, while the works are delaying, there will also be work for Railways Explained. If you found this update insightful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Railways Explained for more in-depth coverage of global railway megaprojects. And if you're passionate about railways, check out our brand new ebook featuring 100 curated scripts from our videos, perfect for those who love to read and learn on the go. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.